Happy St. Patty's Day 2010, hence a little green on the shirt. I don't know if you recognize that. We will not be doing St. Patrick's Day restaurant because, to my knowledge, there's not too many new Irish restaurants opening up. But when they do, I can assure you, at least by next year, we will bring them on because we'd love to tie into the date. But we have an excellent new restaurant that with different ethnic background, but I think you'll love it. As we say, it is March 17, 2010. Weather's finally getting nice down here in New Orleans and getting ready for spring, if not summer. So everyone wants to eat outside. So there's a bunch of new restaurants that are getting ready to open that have outdoor eating, courtyards and stuff. We'll tell you more about those if we have time at the end of the show. We are lacking in-studio musical guests, which unfortunately that has happened a lot since Katrina. But we do go back to our 10 years of tape and try and find one. This young man was on, it could have been 2009, 2008. I think it was 2009. And he's going to grace us with 3 songs as usual. His name is John Earl. So let's go ahead and take a listen, and we'll talk to our chef after that.
Baby, I don't care what you say, just make it beautiful. 'Cause the words that you meant won't set me free. It's the gleam in your eyes and the curl of your lips that lets me know that words are more than simple sounds. Baby, I don't care what you think, just make it beautiful. 'Cause I never understood the things you mean. It's the way you collide with the things that made me hide, that lets me know that time will one day make us proud. But a dark cloud is rising in your mind. You think that you have gotta find words to make me better, the promise of a cure. And that's not why I need you in my life. Baby, I don't care what you do, just make it beautiful. 'Cause the ways that you inspire what I'll be. And in the middle of the night, when I'm closing every eye, that's when everything becomes so clear to me. But a dark cloud is rising in your mind. You think that you have gotta find words to make me better, the promise of a cure. And that's not why I need you in my life. Baby, I don't care what you say, just make it beautiful. Baby, I don't care what you think, just make it beautiful. Baby, I don't care what you do, just make it beautiful. And stay by me. The dark cloud has passed us by. Not a shred of doubt is in my mind. You found what made me better, every single cure. The last thing that would ever cross my mind, it was you.
Right, very good. That was John Earl, a talented young singer-songwriter, and he'll, like I say, was on the show at least a year ago, and he'll be back for a couple more songs before the end of the day. But now we get to the main purpose that we're here, of course, and that is to introduce a new restaurant. The ethnic background of the restaurant is Thai, from, of course, Thailand cuisine. for those who are natives like myself, have been here around here a long time, they know pre-Katrina we had a goodly number of Thai restaurants, and unfortunately a lot of those folks, some real close friends of mine, left never to come back, to go ahead and reopen in other cities and do extremely well. But slowly but surely we're starting to grow that number from less than a handful to still not double digits, but we're getting a representative number, and we're so glad to see that because it's such an excellent cuisine. Today's restaurant is across the river. You remember the last time we went across the river to the Dim Sum restaurant? So we're also going across to this new Thai restaurant that is receiving a lot of good reviews from people who, if you follow any of our local food forums, you can see the talk and the chat has been really good. And we're pleased to have, the name of the restaurant is the Banana Blossom Thai Cafe, and we have its owner and head chef, Jimmy Cho. Jimmy, welcome to the show.
Hello, Mr. Bob.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate it, and we really are glad you've opened a Thai restaurant and a good Thai restaurant because, like I say, it's always been one of my favorite cuisines, and it has a lot of popularity. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been here in New Orleans, and what inspired you to get into the restaurant business?
I've been in New Orleans about 9 years. So when I first came here, I came here as a student, and when I finished, I start working in the hospitals, and I was doing training, but things didn't really work out. So I just take a little break, work at the restaurant, and
then I understand you went to work at the Japanese restaurant by the name of Cafe Zen, which is actually in your location. And from what I understand, that they got to be very successful after Katrina when they came back. So they moved a few doors down in the shopping mall that you're located, and for a larger place, they gave you the opportunity to go in and put your signature on the place, obviously removing the sushi bar and really making it very slick. And we're going to look at some of the pictures of the interior and exterior. Why don't we go ahead and tell them exactly where it's located? It is across the river. What is the address and the city it's in?
The address is 2112 Belchase Highway, Suite 10.
All right.
We're on the same strip mall as Winn-Dixie.
As the Windy. For those who are not familiar, like, if you're not, certainly a lot of us East Bankers don't travel on the West Bank all along, but the easiest way to go is across the Crescent City, and then get off on the very first exit, the Terrytown exit, go up that loop, come down on Terrytown till you come to Belchase Highway, take a right there at the light, and the first thing you do, get over to the left and make a U-turn and go straight into his shopping center, and you'll see it right there because it's on that side. So it's very, very easy to find. Let's talk about your days and hours that you're open. What do we have there?
We open 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday.
Okay.
Lunch, we start from 11:30 to 2:30. And for dinner, we start at 5:30 to 10.
Okay, so you do shut down a little bit between 2:30 and 5, right?
That's correct. We have a little
and
break.
That's 6 days, so Monday through Saturday, right? Sunday's the only day you close, huh?
Yeah, Sunday is the only day we close.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about how many you see. Like I said, what you did a great job for those who had been before to Cafe Zen, knew that the sushi bar came out, did take a lot of the space, even though they had very few tables. You were able to keep the kitchen in the back, just put a representative service counter in front, open up all the front, and people will notice the slick look to it. It's got a gorgeous color, bluish gray walls with some great photography, including the banana blossom. Put some real contemporary chairs and tables. About how many do you seat right now inside?
Right now, we seating's about 30, but it could go up to like 40.
30 to 40. So it's still a small bistro-type restaurant, right. But the important thing is that the food is, even when it gets crowded, the food's going to be well worth it. So we're glad that he has brought Thai back to the city. Anything else you want to tell us about the restaurant per se before we actually start taking a look at some of the pics?
Well, we're serving Thai food, and, just...
How did you get the inspiration to do Thai?
Well, first I'm Thai, and I'm very interested in opening up a restaurant, and I this opportunity came up, so it just, I just like, okay,
I
this
think
is
you were
the
very
time.
smart. Obviously, even though you had been training or working in a Japanese restaurant, which nowadays the volume of those, as I was speaking to you before the show, I can remember back the first Japanese restaurant was in the early 80s, and by the mid-90s we still had less than 10 restaurants. Now we have approximately 30 some odd that specialize in Japanese and sushi. So just a little too much traffic in that, whereas the Thai had been on the decline, and really not because of the cuisine, just because we've lost the folk who actually know the food best. We think you've made a right decision, and obviously the diners out there that have tried you also feel the same way. All right, well, let's go ahead now, and we want to tempt the folks by taking a look at some of the pictures. As people know, we usually take 12 different dishes, and starting with the appetizers. We've got a great traditional appetizer called satay, S-A-T-A-Y, and this is what people call grilled food or barbecue food without the sauce, and it's on skewers. And we somehow skipped the first dish. Let's see if we can get back to the first dish. The first dish, skewers, and we have, I think you all do, there we go. This is chicken satay, is that correct?
That's correct, Mr.
Let's
Boss.
talk about the process, and then we'll talk about the two sauces that come with it. Let's first of all talk about the chicken. You're using chicken breast, is that right?
That's correct. We use chicken breast. We slice in thin pieces, and then we marinate it with coconut milk, curry, fresh garlic.
And that's why it's got that kind of yellow pale, because it's the yellow curries that you're marinating,
That's
right?
correct.
Okay. And then you actually just grill it. That's hence
We
the grill
just
marks, right?
marinate it and grill it, and the satay is come with two sauces.
Yeah. Let's talk about the one that's closest to us, the I think it's, dare say, peanut sauce, which is one of my favorites in Thai. But go ahead and tell us what it is and what goes in it.
Well, peanut sauce is basically, peanuts paste, coconut milk, sugars, and a little bit of salt, and just a little bit of curry paste.
Right.
Yeah.
But the actual coconut really gives and a little bit of the sugar gives a sweetness. So a peanut sauce is usually pretty sweet.
Right.
But the wonderful taste of the peanuts and the curry and the coconut, just absolutely divine. Now, let's talk about the other sauce, which we'll go back to it. The one at the top, which is looks like almost a salad and dressing. Let's talk about that dill sauce, please.
Right. That is called cucumber salad. It has slices of cucumber, carrots, and the sauce is made from sugar, waters, and vinegar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of not a hot and sour, but kind of a little bit of a sweet and sour.
Right.
But it's got a little bit much more dill taste than the peanut sauce. But both of them can be used interchangeably, and they are delightful to actually dip into or to pour over your satay. So if you've never tried, this is a great appetizer. There's another look for it, and you can see the cucumber salad dipping there for you as well. Plus, of course, some lovely decoration on the plate. But this is a great appetizer for more than one person. Even if it's two diners, each get two slices of the chicken and get the taste. So if you haven't tried Thai food at all, one thing you're going to resemble, if you've been to Chinese restaurants, you're going to see the Chinese influence. You also, if you've been to an Indian restaurant, you're going to see those Indian. So it is really kind of a blend of the two. And so that way you will recognize a lot of the dishes from a taste and hopefully by the name. So this is a great one to start because it's basic chicken, but it's grilled and it has the sauces to really bring up the taste buds. All right, now let's take. Now this next one, I have to admit, is one that I have not found at any of our other local Thai restaurants, and I haven't had exposed to it in my years of eating. So I was very, very interested and intrigued by it. It's called roti, and I mistakenly thought maybe it's a rotisserie type situation. Let's see if we can go to those. It looks like a crepe or pancakes, but let's talk about what they are, and of course, once again, the dipping sauce for that.
Well, this dish is called roti. It's a typical dish in Thailand. Usually we had that with curry dish, and I just think it's a great for appetizer, and the sauce is come with.
What is actually for people? What is the roti made out of? What is the actual?
Roti is made from flour. It's actually
so it's almost like a bread or a pancake.
Yeah, it's like bread. Like
it's very soft, though. It's not pronounced. It's kind of a mild flavor, but kind of like a pancake without a heavy flavor.
That's correct.
And then let's talk about the great sauce that you can dip it in. There, this is really good.
The sauce is Thai red curry sauce. It consists of coconut milk, red curry paste, fish sauce, and sugar.
Now if we can stop, because a lot of people hear about curry and they know many times it's associated with Indian food, Hindu food, but at the same time there are multiple levels of curry, and I like to explain this all the time. There's different colors. I understand there's a yellow, a red, I call it a purple, musaman. So there's at least 3 or 4 colors or flavors that most Thai restaurants use. Can you tell us about, obviously the yellow one, which is pretty much the standard in both cuisines, was one we saw used on the chicken. But what are we using here? What type of curry? You said a red?
That is red curry.
All right, now what is, on its own, what would be the difference between the taste of the red curry versus the yellow curry?
Red curry is a little spicier than yellow curry. Yellow curry is like a milder version of curry.
So it's moving up the heat level on the red curry, okay?
Right.
And you said that once again, that has the coconut milk to give it a little sweetness. Anything else in that dressing, in that sauce?
Coconut milk, fish sauce, sugar, and curry paste.
Curry paste, excellent. Yeah. Well, it really is good. You can just break off. This is really kind of finger food, folks. You just like you do. You break, almost like pita bread. You break it off and dip in there like you'd be doing with hummus. Wonderful sauce and really a great treat. Like I say, it's something I hadn't seen at all, certainly not around here. Now, the next one is also a dish that I don't normally associate with the Thai food, even though it's natural because of the shoreline of Thailand being an island in the water and the seafood being so prevalent. And that's a type of clam dish. We usually associate this with French or Belgium, but really a great treat. Let's take a look at we call it spicy clams, and I know you offer this as a special, as an appetizer. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Tell us a little bit about, look at that beautiful sauce, and tell us a little bit about what type of clams and what is the process here?
This is white baby clams, and this is very popular.
Are these local or do these come from somewhere else?
This come from somewhere else.
Any idea where?
I believe this come from Vietnam.
Vietnam, yeah. Okay. And what do you do to them?
So what we do, we just boil them until they open, and we cook with.
Let's talk about that great sauce.
Right. So the sauce that we use has oyster sauce, soybean paste, mushroom sauce, sugar, and some coconut milk, and fresh basil.
Great. Absolutely divine. And what I tell people all the time, especially if they have mussels, again, the sauce many times is superior to the seafood. Same thing here. The seafood is great, not that there's anything wrong with it, but the sauce brings it another level. So the key here is you need something to dip with it. When it's in a French restaurant, I'll always make sure they bring you a lot of French bread. What do you obviously if you had an order of roti, would be another way, instead of using to dip that in here, would be fabulous. Do you offer any type of bread, anything for the diner to get additional flavors from that sauce?
Well, most people, they just save the sauce and, they're going to eat it with rice, after the meals. I mean, not after the meal, like later on.
So you'll bring them rice, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they usually ask for the rice and eat it because it's just really good sauce.
Since I can't eat rice anymore, but the bread is, either one, whatever, but it is really a shame. You would not want to waste the sauce. The flavor is all in the sauce, and so whether you put it over rice to make a wonderful entree dish, or whether you sop it up with some form of bread over the roti itself, that's truly the way to do justice to the dish. So this is really another one and you can see how many clams come in. That's a regular appetizer order, is that right?
That's correct.
So 4 people could certainly eat off that very easily. So it'd be a great appetizer again to start with. Because if one person's going to eat that whole thing, that really should be almost an entree portion. Okay, now we like to look at our soups and our salads, and he's got he's got 2 soups that are really dynamite, and we want to feature both of those. And the first one is probably the most well-known of Thai soups. I know it as Tom Yum Goong, but he calls it Tom Yum, and this is the, let's take a look. This is a beautiful broth, and let's talk about it, and I'll say my 2 cents here. Tell us what goes into Tom Yum.
Tom Yum is like one of the, soup in Thailand. It has broth that has...
what type of broth are we using on here?
We just use like,
Seafood broth?
No, we just use like,
Chicken?
Not chicken, like just broth that made from lemongrass and kaffir lime leaf.
Okay, so you make your own broth?
Yeah, we make our own
we're going to talk about that. Yeah, you mentioned from two of the, besides coconut milk, what we talked about before, and curry and peanuts, two of the real Thai ingredients that probably use it more than most other cuisines are lemongrass.
That's correct.
And lime leaf. Let's talk about, I don't know if you can see, even though they might be in the soup, when you fetch one out, you would know. The green might be the lime leaf, and it actually is the leaf from a lime plant. Is that right?
The green is actually just green onion.
Okay, but I mean, if you had the lime leaf in here, it would actually be a green leaf, because I've seen it before, right? And it is the actual leaf from a lime plant.
That's correct.
But lemongrass, for those who, like I said, do you actually have some lemongrass in the stock?
Yeah, we did put in the stock. We do serve, on a soup. In the cup too.
And that'll look like, for those who've never seen it, it really looks like a very thin slice of bamboo.
Right.
Even though it's not anything like that. Has a little bit of texture that you can run through your teeth, and really, but the flavor that it adds to any kind of soup or salad is just phenomenal. So you make your stock from that, and then what do we? Tom Yum Goong, what I've always, for me, has always been shrimp soup. But you give offer varieties in Tom Yum, is that right? Besides shrimp, you can have what other choices?
That's correct. All the soup that come with like choices of meat. You can get shrimp, you can get chicken, you can get mixed vegetable and tofu, or anything you like.
Beef too? No.
Yeah, some people like it with beef.
And then you're using the beautifully cut fresh vegetables. I see the carrots cut into magnificent sunburst, and, like I say, green onions and other vegetables. So really, now the one thing about this soup, for those who don't like spicy or heat level, this could be a little touchy for you, because this really starts to bring in the pepper level.
That's right.
It's great for me, but and I'm sure you're if you're not familiar with it, the waitress would tell you that, because that's something, if you don't like something with a little heat in it, then you would probably reject this dish, because it does have a great seed. But those New Orleanians who have the heat, love the heat, you're going to really enjoy this particular soup. Now, let's take it another step, and we call it Tom Kha, I believe. And this is taking the beautiful coconut milk we before and making a wonderful soup. Tell me, am I correct? Is that the pronunciation for the soup?
Yeah, you said that's correct.
Okay, look how gorgeous it is, folks. Let's again talk about starting with the broth. How do we make that broth or stock?
Tom Kha is made from coconut milk, lemongrass, fish sauce, lime juice. Yep.
So it's basically the same, except for the addition of the coconut milk.
Right.
So again, folks, when we put that coconut milk in, what does that bring? That brings the sweetness level up. So
that's correct.
This is going to be a sweet, as opposed to the other one being more of a heat. Again, we've got some, I think, beautiful mushrooms, I think you put in here, besides vegetables. Is that right?
Yeah, it does come with carrot and mushroom.
And then, of course, once again, the same options that you have for Tom Yum, the shrimp or the meat, etc., or the veggies, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Either one of the soups, dynamite. I had both. Now, salad. He has one salad, and thank goodness, because it is the true Thai salad. It's called LAP. L-A-A-P or B?
L-A-P-P.
And let's take a look and talk about, folks, if you like salad, this is so refreshing. There's tons of ingredients here, but the dressing, besides the ingredients, brings it to just a whole different level. You can have the dressing on anything, and it would enhance. But the actual ingredients are just tremendous. Let's talk about what goes in your lop salad.
Lops has ground chicken, fresh cilantro, fresh mint, green onions, red onions,
purple
carrots.
Or red onions. You can see some of the slices in there. What else?
Right. And the sauce has fish sauce, sugar, fresh lime juice, and ground rice.
Okay, excellent taste, because it's got a little bit of a citrus flavor, Very refreshing. And then you do put cilantro in here, don't you, I think?
We do put some fresh cilantro in it.
There's nothing better for the Caribbean kind of the style that you have that cilantro and lime. As the people know, it's in so many of the dishes and the drinks in the Caribbean that it's so refreshing. So this is really a great salad and really entree portion. So especially with the summer coming up, this certainly could be a whole entree for anyone. But if not, can be subdivided. Okay, now let's talk about some of the entrees because that's the bread and butter. We've got about 5 today because we don't have a lot of desserts. So we really wanted to focus on some of the signature. Some of the dishes you can get other places, some that are unique. Let's take a look. I think the first one is this is one of my favorites, the soft shell crab. Look at that whole crab, baby, looking at you. Let's talk about what do you do with the soft shell crab. We've got 2 views here, and what is it sitting in?
Soft shell crab, we just put in like a cornstarch and deep fry it. And,
deep fry it or saute it?
Just deep fry.
Deep fried.
Yeah.
So okay.
And
the whole crab, and then what?
Right,
else?
and the sauce is Thai red curry, and that's come with like mixed vegetable.
All right.
Yeah.
Mixed vegetables. Anything else in it?
That's it.
Okay. Well, if you like soft shell crabs, and most New Orleanians do, it's going to be a wonderful addition. It's not just your typical fried soft shell crab with typical platter you'd get at a regular. It's very soft because is there a particular flour that y'all use in the dusting of this? That before you is it?
We just put like cornstarch.
Cornstarch.
Yeah.
Excellent. Really soft and tender, and again you get your whole soft shell crab. Okay, let's take a look. We've got a lot of seafood and some meat dishes. Let's see if we can. I think the next one is one. If it's is it the bourbon noodle dish? Let's see. Yes, huh? This is an interesting title to a dish, bourbon noodle. How did you come up with that?
Well, most Thai restaurant called drunken noodle, so I don't want to be the same, so I just call like bourbon noodle.
Okay, let's start with what type of noodles are we talking about here in the base of your dish?
This is flat rice noodle.
Rice noodle, okay,
yeah.
And it's flat. And what do you do to prepare those? How do you boil it, or what do you do?
Well, it's already come in a sheet form, so it's just ready to cook. So what you need to do is just get all like broccolis, carrots.
Yeah, so you don't need to cook it first of all before you cook everything else. You can cook it all together.
Right, you can just go ahead and cook it.
All right. So what are we putting with the noodles?
The noodles.
I see some beautiful, like you say, vegetable broccoli. I think we have shrimp in this one. Is that right?
That's correct. It has shrimp in it.
But now again, you can vary. There's some options on here, right? Just like we did with the soup. Is that right?
all our soup, entree, you can pick your own meat.
And how are you cooking this whole dish together? Is it like wok cooking or what?
Yeah, it's wok cooking.
So this is wok cooking. Okay. Bourbon noodles are someplace called drunken noodles, but a nice rice noodle and wonderful ingredients. And any spice? What were the spices on that?
The spice has oyster sauce, soybean paste, mushroom sauce, sugar, dark soy sauce, and fresh basil.
Yeah. It's not overly sweet, nor is it overly spicy. So this is a really good, nice blend, and with a wonderful variety of seafood and vegetables. By the way, folks, don't hesitate to give us a call. We know it's Wednesday, and not everybody's ready to make those calls on St. Paddy's Day. But if you want to address any question to myself or to Chef Jimmy Cho of Banana Blossom Thai Cafe, don't hesitate to do that. He'd be glad to give any instructions. Hopefully we've given you good directions for those who are coming from the East Bank. We do have a couple more entrees, but we wanted to get those numbers out for you. So if you want to call, please don't hesitate to. We'd be glad to hear from you. Always glad to hear from you. All right, now let's take a look at another entree. I think the next one we're going to move into the, I don't know if it's still seafood or do we move into the meat area. Let's take a look. This is a great one. This is the... Well, you put, again, these are options. We decided to put mixed seafood with his basil spaghetti. There you go. Tell us about that. First of all, what type of spaghetti are we using? How do we mean basil spaghetti?
Just angel hair pasta.
Angel hair, the very thin angel hair pasta.
Thin, yes.
Go ahead.
That's come with basil sauce and mixed seafood. That's come with like...
Now, the basil sauce is... Can you give us a little more explanation on basil sauce?
It has oyster sauce, mushroom sauce, sugar, dry chilies, and fresh basils.
Fresh basil, yeah. Okay, and then what do we do? So do you boil spaghetti? Or
Yeah,
then-
we boil spaghettis, and
Okay.
when we cook, we just put everything in the
Together.
box and mix
And what
it all
other stuff?
together.
Like I say, in this one we've got a combination. When we say mixed seafood, let's tell. Obviously, you can see a shrimp. Tell the folks what other seafood's in there besides the shrimp.
It has shrimps, green mussels, and
Okay.
calamari.
And calamari squid. That's the
That's
white stuff. I think you can see near the
Right.
bottom of the plate. And then the beautifully cut carrots and broccoli, so the good veg. So here's a good, almost a takeoff of an Italian dish, but with a real good Thai flavor. So again, this is not too spicy, not too hot, not too sweet. So a good one to try as a beginning. Okay, now we're going to move into two of the. I think we've got another noodle. This to me is the most unique one, and maybe someone else can tell us if they've seen it. But I have not seen it anywhere local at all. It's just a beautiful. I've seen things that look like it, and you call it. It's a certain type of noodle. Tell us the name of that noodle, please.
This dish called Chiang Mai noodles.
Chiang Mai. What does Chiang Mai mean, man?
Chiang Mai is a province in Thailand.
So it's a location of, and what area would that be in Thailand?
It's
North, south?
north of Thailand.
Okay. And what's so cool about these? What are these noodles made out of?
That is egg noodle.
Egg noodles.
So
okay.
the one on top is just fried egg noodle.
Just fried egg noodles.
Yeah.
So just like you go to maybe a Chinese restaurant, you have fried whatever you call that's the similar egg now, but that's much thicker. This is so cool. Like I said, really shaped in a bird's nest look.
Right.
So it's a wonderful, crispy, but very, very light. It's not thick or heavy. But then tell us what below that really adds to the whole thing. When you push that down and get it in the sauce along with the other stuff, it's really good. Tell us what's in the base of the dish.
The sauce is a blend of red curry and yellow curry sauce with coconut milk.
Okay, so you're blending the red and the yellow. And how does that come out? I mean, how does it change the flavor of the curry? You're mixing the two curries together. What do you think? What does that bring to the dish?
Well, it's just being like spicy and sweetness into the dish,
Okay.
and also other like condiment that go with the dish is make it very unique.
Anything
and
else?
different.
What else goes with it?
Well, it has pickled mustard.
Pickled mustard.
Yes.
Wow, that's unusual. Go ahead.
Very unusual. Green onion, chilies, and your choice of meat and some cilantro and green onions.
Yeah, I think we put beef in this one, but again, you can have any of the choices that we go with all the options. Is that
That's correct.
I tell you, folks, it's like the first time I had it, and it's divine. I ate this entire thing. This was really my entree. I took home. Didn't even touch it during the restaurant. I waited to go home for the evening. It was absolutely excellent. Okay, now we're going to give you a dish. In case we frighten you off, we're going to give you a dish that, is so traditionally Chinese. You've seen in every Chinese restaurant, but it's totally different in its preparation. And that is, we call it crispy chicken and fried rice. Let's take a look at this particular dish. Let's go over it. First of all, beautiful layout of chicken. What makes it so golden? What kind of batter are we using on here?
We use Japanese panko breadcrumb.
Panko, which is, for those who haven't tasted, a very light breadcrumb, very soft, and once again, not heavy, so it's not disguising the taste of the content. You can actually see through it to see the chicken below. And you deep frying that, of course, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And then how do you do your fried rice? And what comes in your fried rice with this dish?
Fried rice is just made from jasmine rice.
Oh, it's jasmine rice.
We use jasmine rice. That
Okay.
make the rice so good. It has eggs, carrots, green onion, red onion, and for the sauce it has oyster sauce, mushroom sauce, and sugar.
Okay. Excellent. All right, folks, we're talking to Jimmy Cho. He's the owner and head chef of a brand new restaurant. By the way, how long have you been open? I forgot.
We've been here about 4.5 months.
4.5 months. It's called Banana Blossom Thai Cafe. 2112, is that the address?
2112 Bell Chase Highway.
2112 Bell Chase Highway. It says Suite 10, but again, this is a mall, so all the little suites are right. The important thing, if you're coming from the East Bank, get on the Crescent City connection, get off on the first exit, Terry Parkway, go up that big loop, come down on Terry till you get to Bell Chase Highway, and there's a railroad train right there by the stoplight in case you are not familiar. As soon as the light turns green, or you can even turn red, because I think there's a special right turn ramp. Turn right, but get over to the left. because you'll see a U-turn that allows you to go straight into the in the neutral ground, allows you to go straight into the shopping center, and you'll see it from there because it's on the first row of restaurants. As he says, it's open 6 days a week for lunch and dinner separately, shuts down in between, and is doing a bang-up job. Now, we're finished the entree pictures, and we have a little bit more time, so let's go back and talk about some we don't have pictures on, so that way we can turn it over to our musician. Tell us some other of the entree dishes. Give us another one that we haven't looked at, and let's talk about that one, please.
Pad Thai is very good.
Well, again, for those who haven't been, Pad Thai is probably the staple of Thailand. It's P-A-D-T-H-I-I, 2 words. And tell us about, again, this is a noodle dish.
Right.
Tell us about what that is, please.
Pad Thai is a noodle dish in Thailand. It's come with rice noodle.
Flat rice noodle.
Just regular, flat rice noodle.
Right, right. And then what do you do with that?
Well, we just cook it with tamarind sauce, sugar, and fish sauce, and it does come with green onion, bean sprouts, and the
Do you
meat.
put tofu in yours? That's
We usually don't, but we can always add tofu on the Pad Thai.
'cause that's something that's probably individual option. Now, usually it's most people they'll fry the tofu as opposed to just putting in soft, so it gives it a little bit of a stiffness, cut in small cubes. But also, usually there's a. Do you not have like a peanut flavor at all in your sauce in it, or that, or no? Or you just use peanuts on the side, or what? Or no peanuts
For
at all?
that dish, it does come with ground peanut on top of the noodle.
Right. I think that addition is just something that gets people addicted to it, is the peanut flavor. And so whether it's put into the sauce or whether it's just chopped on the side. And once again, you can add any one of the entrees, shrimp, common seafood, anything you want to a Pad Thai dish.
That's correct.
Again, that's a whole entree, so it's going to be a lot. It's going to be stuff you want to take home or share with your other diners because it's a very filling dish. So we didn't show it because it is the standard dish of Thailand, and every other restaurant have it. And for the most part, the preparation is the same. Give or take a few ingredients like we mentioned on the tofu. Some people will put orange slices to give it a little more citrus so you can squeeze on there, which I like. Some will add some other things, but again, it's really up to the individual diner's preference. Let's talk about another one that that might be unique to yours or a different presentation. Anything else you can think of for other entrees?
We have, let's see.
How about the pineapple curry? You see, this is very unusual. I had not seen that at all. What is the pineapple curry?
Pineapple curry is basically just red curry, and we just add pineapple into it. It's very typical dish in Thailand, but
so it's going to give pineapple's going to give it a little sweetness to that. But we said the red curry is a little hotter than the yellow curry,
right?
So that's going to have the heat. But you're going rather than introduce it with coconut milk, you're introducing pineapple to give it a little sweetness,
right?
Kind of Polynesian style. How about let's talk about? There's a particular curry called musaman. Are you familiar with that? Instead of calling it a color. And the dishes I've had have always been like eggplant or some meaty kind of vegetable, heavy mushrooms in there. What is musaman curry? Let's talk about that first.
Musaman is like a southern style curry. It has musaman curry, coconut milk, fish sauce, sugar, and it does come with steamed potatoes, peanuts, and carrots and mushroom, and your choice of meats, of course.
And do you offer that in the restaurant at all?
Yeah, we do serve that in the restaurant.
Okay, because I didn't know. How is it listed? Do you know? Or do they just have to ask for it?
It's listed on the menu. It said
as musaman. I mean,
it said musaman. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about one other dish, because then we got to go. Let's see if there's anything else that would be unusual. How about the rainbow trout? Are you doing that? That's unusual because that's a very famous fish dish from long ago down here in New Orleans. It was very, very sought after, and for years it was hard to get rainbow trout. So tell us if it is the name of the fish. Is that the
That's correct.
Tell us, what are you doing on a rainbow trout?
We just, simple deep fry with cornstarch, and it's come with like a, house sauce that's made from tamarind sauce, sugars, fish sauce, and fresh cilantro.
Okay. There's one other one I got to ask before we go. Another noodle dish called Yum Yum Noodle. With a name like that, we got to have some description. So tell us, and again, what the Yum Yum noodles are.
It's actually tom yum noodle. It's like spicy, like tom yum's broth.
Oh, like the soup.
That's correct.
Okay, so
But it's an entree dish. It's like bigger dish, and that's
So
come with. It's like Vietnamese pho, but this is like Thai noodle dish.
Right, but would it be actually just a soup over noodles, or is it done differently?
That's a soup over noodle.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Excellent idea. That is an excellent idea because, as I mentioned, that soup I've had before. I've added rice to jasmine rice to the soup, but never thought about the noodles. So,
Right.
What a great way to fill. And again, like folks, one of the advantages of Thai food is, even though there's some things that are heavy, maybe if you want to consider the some of the fried stuff, some of the coconut milk or the peanut stuff could be considered heavy. But overall, all Asian food, and especially as we get to this level, is much lighter in its touch. So even though the Chinese, the fried rice that you might get in China and some of the Chinese, I think you're going to find it a little heavier in taste. If you really truly compare, the sauces might be a little heavier. So the Chinese, the Thai fried rice is going to be maybe a little less heavy. So if you like that, the way it sits and tastes, I think you find a real good choice here. But all along the Vietnamese, have these wonderful soups they call pho, and that's what we're doing. He's talking about here. So the Thai has a lot of that too as well. The soups, the salad, the very, very light dishes. Not only because we're coming upon summer, but one reason is the wonderful health by using the fabulous vegetables that they use and the lightness of the stocks. So it really can bring a wonderful light taste treat to the diner. Doesn't make you feel so bloated that you've eaten so much. So it really is something nice and can be extended and take home. Okay, folks. Well, again, we're not finished, but we're going to stop here and enjoying our conversation with Jimmy Cho. And we're going to go ahead and hear a second song from our, not in studio, but from a past show. The artist is named John EARL. So let's hear what he has to do for us.
Siren blaring, cause there's death there every night. And happiness alone won't make him fade. People say don't worry about it, just enjoy your time. But I guess I'm not built that way. You can't keep heaven in your heart. It flows from you like blood into the streets. It hurts for just a moment till you let out every ounce. Then it turns to gold beneath your feet. From each house in disrepair, this money by itself won't go to home. Are the greatest of us servants, or does anybody care? Or is my friend the carpenter alone? You can't keep heaven in your heart. It flows from you like blood unto the streets. It hurts for just a moment till you let out every ounce. Turns to gold beneath your feet. I see a million souls with memories to erase, and I can only weep with gentle eyes. Each just magnifies the rain, and the flaming sword cuts more from paradise. You can't keep heaven in your hearts. It flows from you like blood unto the streets. It hurts for just a moment till you let out every ounce. Then it turns to gold beneath your feet. You can't keep heaven in your hearts. It flows from you like blood unto the streets. It hurts for just a moment till you let out every ounce. Then it turns to gold beneath your feet. Then it turns to gold beneath your feet. Then it turns to gold beneath your feet.
Okay, that was John Earl. He'd been on our show previously, I think 2009. Very nice young gentleman. Writes all his own music. Very, very thoughtful type singer-songwriter. So we're pleased to show some of his songs again. And again, we'll have one more to close it out. We're really pleased today to be speaking to owner and chef Jimmy Cho of Banana Blossom Thai Cafe. As we mentioned, he told us it's only 4.5 months old, but it's really getting to be the rage of Thai food, and Thai is a very, very popular. We have, as you know, we have a dining club. The new deal, we'll talk more about that at the end, and we do polls on cuisines, and on Thai always comes up there as either number one or tied for first place. So of the Asian cuisines, it certainly is the one that most people are very familiar with and really enjoy. So we're glad that the Thai restaurant scene is getting to be more prolific here in New Orleans to kind of match its pre-Katrina time. As we said, Jimmy's restaurant is on the West Bank. That's the only difficult part about it for us East Bankers, 2112 Bell Chase Highway, but very easy. Just get off the Tarrytown exit to Bell Chase, take a right, take an immediate U or left turn into the shopping center. He's right there in the front. It's open for lunch and dinner. I forgot the exact times, but he does shut down approximately 2:30 to 5, and he's open 6 days a week. So you should be able to get over there at least on a Saturday if you work on the East Bank. We want to go ahead and, for those who follow Asian food, they know the dessert is not the key item. That's why they're so much healthier than us Americans. And usually most desserts are fruit-based or something like that. However, because of the requirements of the American palate, many Asian restaurants have had to adapt, to the American-type desserts, using some of their knowledge and trying to be innovative in this. The dessert that we're going to be showing you today is what he calls banana fritters with ice cream. So let's take a picture and tell us a little bit about what a beautiful presentation he's done on it. Tell us what we've got here, Jimmy.
Well, this is our dessert. That's we make little banana egg roll with brown sugar, and we wrap it.
So we take the banana, of course, from this angle, we probably don't see it as well, but of course you're seeing the ice cream on top. But if you look at the golden wedges underneath, that is actually the fried banana, or the banana fritter. I think that's a better shot of it. Tell us again. So you're taking the banana, you're slicing it in wedges.
Yeah, we cut it like 4 quarters, okay. And you wrap in egg roll wrappers with some brown sugar.
All right, and you deep fry it at that point?
That's correct.
And then you put just typical vanilla ice cream.
That's correct.
And what are some of the other? It looks like you're dusting it with
powdered sugar, coconut flake, and some coconut what's it called? Chocolate sauce.
Oh, well, that's good. With the addition of the coconut flake, or they had a nice touch to it. So again, if you need to have, and he does have a couple others, very simple desserts, and he's talking about some others that might come on. But again, folks, as I mentioned, dessert is really kind of an afterthought to Asian restaurants. The main focus is on your entree and your early dishes. So hopefully you'll get enough that you won't need the dessert. None of us really need it anyway for our health. Let's talk a little bit about beverages now. My understanding, you don't provide any alcohol. So what are you doing for the guests?
We allow our customer to bring their own alcohols, and we do
Beer
charge
or
little.
wine, is that what you're saying?
That's correct.
And you hit.
We do charge little corkage fee and
a small corkage fee. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so there you go, folks. So if you and in the shopping center, is there any type of well, I guess you said there's a grocery store, right?
Right, that's a Winn-Dixie, in the same strip mall.
Okay,
You can,
so they can
just walk
they can
right
go
there.
ahead. If you don't remember to bring, or you haven't seen the show and don't realize that there's no alcohol and you have to have such, you can go to the grocery store in the shopping mall within only a few steps away and go ahead and pick something up. But if you prefer to bring your own selection, don't mind, but be aware that there will be a slight charge for opening it by serving the bottle of wine and the beer for you. But more importantly, it's the old idea, when you're in Rome, do what the Romans do. There are two types of non-alcoholic beverages that are served by the Thai folk that I think are well worth consideration. So, in fact, as for dessert, when you drink one of these, you don't need dessert. And that's Thai tea and Thai coffee. Let's start with the more popular one, and the one more well-known is the Thai tea. Tell us about your tea. And, of course, we're talking about iced tea here, folks. But tell us about your Thai iced tea.
Well, Thai iced tea is made from Thai tea powders, and we boil in hot water,
Right.
and we take all the the leaves off, and it has honey, sugar, and we serve with ice and top it off with half and half.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we use half and half. Okay.
That's
Some of them I've tasted actually use condensed milk, but again, it's the idea of adding that milk into it that really, one, it changes it's no longer clear, it is opaque, but the flavor just adds a whole new dimension to it. So if you want to try something, again, I have to admit it's kind of hard to drink more than one because of the sweetness, so
Right.
you usually get some water or something after. So it makes a perfect dessert, but it also makes a great accompaniment. Now, Thai coffee is a little different, and tell us about that, please.
Thai's coffee, we do the same thing as Thai tea, but the flavor is slightly different than the Vietnamese coffee, because it's not as heavy as Vietnamese coffee.
Right. Well, Vietnamese coffee, for those who are not familiar with it, is more like if anyone's had Turkish coffee or any one of the really strong European Russian coffee, where it's brewed very, very thick, almost like petroleum. That's how dark and thick it is. But it's brewed through usually condensed milk, and again served iced, so that infusion of the condensed milk or the half and half or the combination thereof really adds a phenomenal taste. Vietnamese coffee is extremely well known. Thai coffee is not as well or popular as Thai tea, but for those who would rather have coffee, it follows the same formula, and it is a great taste. Now, you do offer, for Americans, that you offer sodas. Is that what you have? But
That's correct, sir.
Full range of sodas, and water, of course, would prefer. All right. Let's see. Anything I wanted to tell you all about a special event. As you know, as we mentioned earlier during the day, we have formed the New Deal, which is a great dinner club which allows you out there to join us at the wonderful restaurants that we've either shown on the show before or will be featuring. And Jimmy is nice enough to be hosting us on the 7th of April, the first week. I think that's a Wednesday. And he's prepared a wonderful, and in those situations, you can come just like a regular guest and order from the menu, anything you want from the menu in case you're a light diner or worried about the budget. Or he prepares that we usually work out a wonderful fixed price menu that for one price the person will get the soup, maybe a salad, will get some appetizers, get a choice of entrees and dessert. So it's a one deal, and we have a bunch of great people who are enjoying themselves. We have a wonderful mixture of both transplants and natives who are coming and tasting. So it really adds a new dimension. If you're a single person out there for whatever reason and you don't like to dine alone, either because you've been maltreated by a restaurant or you just don't like that lonesomeness of having to read or bring your computer, this is a great way to meet new folk and also try the restaurants at the same time at usually a remarkable financial situation. So before we close, like I say, don't forget you can reach us here for the television about anything you want to know about or suggest a musician. And our email is bob, B-O-B, at rrevue.com, bob at rrevue.com. Or you can go directly to the website for the dining group, and that would be www.meetup, M-E-E-T-U-P, one word, meetup.com/the New Deal, THENEWDEAL. If you go there, you'll get a look of everything that's going on. You'll see some of the past dinners. People have been there. You'll see the food. Jimmy's, since we'll be dining at Jimmy's on the 4th, all the pictures of the food that we've seen today, plus additional ones, plus the folk, and will be put on that website when we return from that meal. Plus, you'll see what people have to say about the restaurant. We do include reviews of the diners who've attended, so it gives you a great incentive to want to try a new restaurant. And as you know, that is the motto, and that is the whole purpose of our show, is to introduce new restaurants. We've been doing it for 10 years and still haven't found an end in sight. That's what's so phenomenal about our small city, is that we continue to turn out phenomenal restaurants at all levels. So until then, we'll look for you at the restaurants, or if not, back here on Restaurant Review.
Attacked his life. After all was said and done, the only thing he feared were the warm and loving eyes of his wife. And he's walking on the desert sand tonight, so cold but no one sees him when he runs. We all walk on the desert sand sometimes, but only those alive still feel the sun. Started with the words of a letter, the only man that wasn't coming home. She cried cause her heart just wouldn't let her die young from the only love she knew. She prayed to the Lord who seemed not to hear. The doubt she never had were a waste of time. And after all was said and done, the only thing behind her tears were the warm and loving eyes of a wife. She's walking on the desert sand tonight, so cold but no one sees her when she runs. And we all walk on the desert sand sometimes, but only those alive still feel the sun. No one knows how the journey is gonna end, but life's a better dish served unprepared. Sometimes all these choices seem a little too hard to make, because the right is so much more than we can bear. We look for a reason and our hearts don't testify. These doubts we never knew just come alive. Deep inside we realize what only time can bring, that from warm and loving eyes we can